Hello and a very warm welcome to the Blockchain Funk YouTube channel, the channel that talks about all things crypto. Today we're going to give a price prediction for PulseChain. I'm actually going to give you 3 different price predictions. Obviously I'm going to give you day 1, I'm going to give you where we are in 6 months time, and I'm going to give you where I think we're going to be in 2 years time, so stay tuned for that. I've seen a lot of videos over the last 6 months, all very good, all with different, but really today I want to just throw my hat into the ring and give a slightly different aspect in terms of what I think is going to be happening over the next 2 years with the PulseChain. So start off first of all is the marketplace for Pulse. It's a different place to what the market was in 2015. 2015 when Ethereum was launched. My guess is that it was a much bigger risk for the OGs in Ethereum investing in this new blockchain smart contract platform. I'm sure they knew they were sitting on something special, but they couldn't have known just how special, considering that 2015 was still quite an early time for the crypto market in general. So, but the difference with us and PulseChain is that we know exactly how special PulseChain is. We know exactly what PulseChain is going to be. And I think with the money invested so far in PulseChain just proves just how confident that the market is in terms of what PulseChain is going to do going forward. Also, now we have institutional investment, and that's really a seal of approval from the institutions saying, look, crypto is here to stay. They never had that in 2015, so it's a completely different place. I've heard the argument that market cap is a vanity metric. A lot of people tend to be saying that these days. And let's be honest, because Richard Hart initially said it in one of his live streams. And look, I mean, it makes sense on the face of it, but in reality, it just simply isn't true. The fact of the matter is that markets are run by psychology. It's really sentiment in markets that decide whether people buy or sell. And I think that the psychological aspect of a market cap is still an important factor in somebody's buying decision. If you ever looked at a market cap yourself and thought, actually, the market cap's too high and not invested, well, you have to times that by the rest of the market, and that's what the market thinks. It's not about what you and I think, it's about what the market thinks. And if the market thinks the market cap is too high, then they simply will not buy, and that will cause us a problem. So I think what needs to happen is that we need to break through that barrier, which is very important. And this year, I think Hex does that. I think Hex breaks through that psychological pricing barrier for market cap, because I think Hex will at least do a 10x this year. And I think it will surpass Ethereum and get to its rightful place as number 2. And at some stage after that, knocking on the coattails of Bitcoin. So my prediction for PulseChain. So I'm going to break it down into three phases. You've got the opening day, you've got the first 6 months, then you've got 2 years. So let's look at the opening day. So I think what happens in the launch phase is that this is basically going to primarily consist of everybody filling their bags. Everybody who missed out on the initial PulseChain sacrifice are going to be filling their bags. Now, I know that it's also going to include PulseX as well. So people will be swapping like crazy many of their PulseX tokens in order to get involved in the PLS on day 1. This itself, all of these factors, I think are going to push the price up. And I think that on the opening day, we're walking in to, I would say, probably a 20 to 50x. In the first 6 months, now you've got what I call the ERC20 scramble. So what that means is basically in the first 6 months, you're going to have everyone who knows about PulseChain and knows that they have ERC20 tokens available, they have value on the PulseChain, they are going to be looking to get on PulseChain and swap their tokens around. But then you've got people that don't know. So there's going to be many people out there who don't know, and word is going to filter down to those who don't know over a period of time. And it's so clever the way it's been set up. It's been set up so they have to engage with the network. I think in the first 6 months, as a result of the ERC20 scramble, I think we see between 100 and a 250x on PulseChain. And then what's going to happen after that? General long-term adoption. And again, what we mean by that is it's going to be people that are still filtering through who didn't know they had ERC20 tokens of value. They're going to be filtering through over the next few years. And it's also going to consist of those who initially used the network who are now here to stay. So they had their freebie, they've interacted with the network, they're like, this is brilliant. And they're here to stay. So the adoption is going to be much faster than we could have ever have imagined, and that in itself is going to push the price up significantly. Now, there is one more thing I've got to add to this, which is what I would call the X factor. And the X factor is the fact that this is the first time the system state has been copied over in this way. And it's the largest airdrop in the history of crypto. This has never been seen before. And because of that, I think that we could also see price action that will follow suit. In other words, price action that we've never ever seen before for the first 2 years. And that could happen in micro sections on the first day, within the first 6 months, or in the first 2 years. Price action never seen before for a layer one, obviously. Given the factors explained, my prediction for the first 2 years, and wait for it, I think that the PulseChain does a 15,000 to 20,000 X in the first 2 years. I'll say it again, 15,000 to 20,000 X in the first 2 years, but two conditions have to be met. The first one is that we need to break through the psychological barrier of market cap. I think is possible. I think that Hex does it first of all and opens the door for Pulse. And if that happens, we're looking good. And secondly, which is very important, is that we need to catch the tail end of a bull run. If we can do those two things, then I think that we see price action of anywhere between 15,000 to 20,000 X, almost doubling what the initial estimates were. But who knows? That's just my take on it. And just remember, guys, this is not financial advice in any way, shape or form. We're simply discussing what the prices could be in a very exciting opportunity. Guys, I hope you found that insightful and got something out of that. I'm running low here, so give me a like, comment and subscribe. That'd be fantastic, and I can keep on making this content. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one.